Hello, this is part 2 where I will show you how to swipe to show the navigation drawers. Let's start by adding a new class called handle swipe and drawers. Right click on this folder, click on Java class, and this is the name of the class, handle swipe and drawers. This class will be responsible for controlling the navigation drawers through swiping. The first thing we need is the drawer layout. So let's create a variable for it. Okay, so this is that variable that I was talking about. Make sure to import the drawer layout. After that, you see that here it is saying that variable drawer layout might not have been initialized. So let's create a new constructor. Right click, click on generate, constructor, and select drawer layout and hit OK. Awesome, so now we don't have that error. Let's continue. Let's define a threshold for the swipe so that when we exceed it, we will show the navigation drawers. After that, I will add a Boolean value that will indicate if the navigation drawer is closed or not. By default, it should be set to true because when we open the app, the navigation drawers are not opened. Now we need to override a method called onFlig. But to be able to do this, we need to extend the gesture detector class. Okay, so here you can now go down, click on Ctrl O and search for onFlig. Okay, this is the method that we need to override. The onFlig method is called when we swipe on the screen. This method gives us the start and end positions as well as the velocities. We can use those variables. We can use these variables to access the x and y values and then calculate the difference between them, like this. Remove this line, we don't need it, and add the following lines. You can see that here I am getting the x position for the end position as well as the start position, and after that I am calculating the difference. If the difference, for example, in x is greater than 0, this means that we are swiping to the right. On the other hand, if x is less than 0, this means that we are swiping to the left. And similarly for y. But for y, if the value is greater than 0, this means that we are swiping to the top. Okay? Now we want to care just about left and right swiping. We do this by comparing the differences. If the absolute value of diff x is greater than the absolute value of diff y, we know for sure that we are swiping more to the left or right. Now we need to check if the thresholds are reached or not. So basically you will calculate, here you will take the difference. If this value is greater than swipe threshold, this Boolean value will be set to true, and similarly for the velocity. If those values are true and the drawer is closed, we can start opening the corresponding navigation drawer. But to be able to know which one to open, we need to use diff x one more time. If diff x is greater than 0, this means that we can open the left navigation drawer because we are swiping from left to right. So we can use the drawer layout variable that we have here at the top and call the open drawer method and give it gravity compat and specify the start position to be able to open the left navigation drawer. But if diff x is less than 0, we will take this line and replace start with end. After that, we need to return true to inform the gesture detector, which is this class, that the fling gesture has been processed successfully. And finally, before I forget, let's return false, because here you can see that we have an error down below. Because if we don't satisfy this condition, this means that we didn't process anything, so just return false at the end. Now let's go back to the main activity class and add the following variables. An instance of the gesture detector compat class and basically an object from the class that we have just created. Let me explain what does the gesture detector compat class do in Android. Basically, this class simplifies the detection of common touch gestures such as flings, swipes, and taps across different Android versions. With the gesture detector compat, we can easily handle complex touch interactions in our application, such as opening a drawer with a swipe gesture. Let's instantiate both variables inside the instantiate objects method. Okay, so this is how we do it. Remember that inside the handle swipe drawers, we need to pass in the drawer layout, and the gesture detector compat needs a context and a custom class that will handle those touch events. After that, we need to override a method called dispatch touch event. So one more time, click on Ctrl O and search for dispatch touch event. It's this one. And here we need to use that gesture detector objects that we have created and call the onTouch event and pass in the motion event. Just by adding this line of code, it ensures that all touch events are first passed to the gesture detector object for gesture detection before being handled by the default event dispatch mechanism. This way, we can integrate custom gesture detection with the standard touch event processing flow. Now I think we are ready to test the application. So, one more time, connect your device and hit the run button. Okay, the application now is running. Let's start by swiping from left to right. You can see that the navigation now is showing. Let's click on the dark area to close it. Now let's swipe to the other side, and voila, you can see that the navigation drawer is opening. But here, let me show you. You can see that we have a bug. When I swipe to the other side quickly, the other navigation drawer opens, and sometimes I can open them both. Let me show you. So yeah, you can see now that I have both of them open, which is not what we want. So let's fix this problem. To fix the bug we experienced, let's go back to the handle swipe and drawers class and add the add drawer listener to the drawer layout variable. So let's go back to the constructor. Let's use the drawer layout because we have a method called add drawer listener. Here, type in new and hit tab so that you override all these methods. For example, if the onDrawerOpened method is called, this means that one of the navigation drawers is open. Thus, the isDrawerFullyClosed variable should be set to false. So type in isDrawerFullyClosed and give it false instead of true. On the other hand, if the onDrawerClosed method is called, this means that one of the navigation drawers is closed. Thus, the isDrawerFullyClosed Boolean variable should be set to true. Now the last method that we will work on is this onDrawerSlide. This method is called whenever the drawer's position changes, indicated by the slide offset parameter that ranges from 0, which means fully closed, to 1, which means that the drawer is fully open. We need to update the isDrawerFullyClosed variable to true when the slide offset is set to 0. So this is how we do it. This is a short form, but you could write it in other ways. You could say that if slide offset is equal to 0, then isDrawerFullyClosed is equal to true, else it is equal to false. But this is very simple to write and it saves us some lines of code. So let me explain this one more time. If slide offset is equal to 0, this indicates that the drawer is fully closed. And this is what will help us in solving that bug, because we will never try to open a navigation drawer until this value is set to true. Now, let's test the application and see if everything is working or not. Okay, the application is running one more time. Now let's start by swiping from left to right. Awesome. Now let's swipe quickly. You can see that now the bug is not appearing because we have made sure that we will open the navigation drawer until all the navigation drawers are closed. If this is not the case, we will never open any navigation drawer. Awesome, so this fixes the problem, and now we have finished working on the navigation drawers. I think in the upcoming video we will try to work on this plus button. When we click on it, we should let the user select either a text file or a PDF file. So see you in the next video.